Hi there, it's time for Cardano Wyckoff analysis again. If you're new to my session, here are the 3 items that I'll cover during these sessions. And I'm not a financial advisor, these are just for education and discussion purpose with you. If you haven't subscribed, remember to click the button. Let's go straight into Cardano's weekly chart. So we are seeing the blue text are the distribution cycles. The orange one is the accumulation. So as you can see, Cardano has just entered the accumulation cycle. So looking to the left, it's not too deep yet, okay, compared to what happened back in 2002, 2003. However, as you know, selling climax isn't necessarily the lowest point during an accumulation, okay? So this is where it is now. So what to expect next if the selling climax has finally revealed like the initial low point during this early accumulation cycle. Next will be the automatic rally stage, where there will be people buying the dip and pushing the price up a little bit. Okay, probably not very crazy. If we look to the left, you get to see what I meant, right? 2002, 2003, during that time, it landed at the selling climax back then at the light blue key level of 24 cents. And then the automatic rally rose to around 42 cents. So that's roughly equates to about 70-75% of climb. So currently we haven't seen where the selling climax yet. When we get to the daily chart, we'll see a little bit more details. So let's get into take a look while we are expecting the automatic rally to come after. All the text in the daily chart now, because these are the previous experimental texts that I may eventually phase them out. So previously we talked about the trend, the downtrend that started back in mid-September has finished on the date of December 8th. So basically that 2 days of climb exited that area. However, since then it started to drop along the edge of the descending air hockey table. So why air hockey table? Because if you look at these price actions, it's like basically bouncing between the edges of the table as well as the center line. So currently there's a tricky part of it. Even though we discussed that it might have exited the downtrend. However, looking at some of the charts that I revised like in earlier sessions with you a couple of days back, if we take this trend slightly or less steep as it originally was, we would get a different picture. Alright, so that's also a possibility. Okay, let's track both as of now, because seeing what's going on over here, it kind of triggers me to think the previous view of the downtrend may not be exactly what it is. So if I were to even like further adjust this just to align to this bottom, I mean this candlestick tail, so that's where we get to. So slightly more gradual decline than the previous way of drawing it. Like if we draw it previously like that, then it's obviously is a more steep decline. This picture is showing us it's less steep, however, it hasn't exited the horizontal trend. So there are 2 things that triggered me to adjust this. For one, because of this like trading along the slope that looks kind of similar. That's something that's happening within the downtrend. Second, this went lower than what happened on December 1st. Okay, even though it's reclimbing, So these two factors affected me to change it. The volume, it's basically average. So the tricky part is over here. So we see these wicks from the top, right? That means there are still people selling from those levels. So this, let me get back the drawing tools. So here, this line extended from this low is currently acting as the support or resistance right now. Especially resistance for the past 2 days. This white candle that we have today with 6 hours left roughly, the volume isn't really supporting the climb. So I'm guessing this resistance may last for at least a day or two more, if not longer. Because if this downtrend is really continuing, assuming this is going to continue, and this is, like I said, after the adjustment, more accurate view of the actual trend, then there are 2 dates we will get further confirmation whether this horizontal trend is true. Alright, first, this one. This is pointing towards the 5th of Jan. Second is this, the 20th of Jan. So those two, assuming like this trend is going to continue, either it's going to find support at this blue key level at around 33 cents and trade sideways, and to the point where we reach the 5th of Jan, or the 33 cents doesn't hold. You see the selling volume over the past couple of days, right? So there's a chance that it's going to come further down to challenge the 24 cents light blue key level. Assuming that's the case and it travels along this triangle, that's pointing towards somewhere around 19th or 20th of January. Those two can become confirmation of whether these trends are going to continue, or is it going to actually change the trend. Now that we have adjusted this downtrend box, there's not much room to further adjust. So either it's going to exit the box entirely, like near the end of Jan, or it's going to continue with the downtrend until the point where it hits somewhere at the lower supports. Alright, so going back to the big picture, I mentioned in the very beginning that this low area back in 2002-2003, that accumulation cycle, compared to the 2024 that landed around the 33 cents zone, obviously we hope that it doesn't go so deep into like the light blue key level of 24 cents. Alright, let's get back to here. This 33 cents level is where we hope that it stopped, but October 10th kind of indicated that it can land lower. But the thing is, even though it landed lower, this level that October 10th challenged was actually the low point back in 2024, or the bottom of 2024. Alright, so if it is really coming to challenge that level, we're not too far from there. From this week's low to that low point, that's roughly about 20% adjustment further. Okay, so it may not be the selling climax landing over there. It can be subsequent tests. These paper hands, diamond hands tests. That's going to land at the lower point than the selling climax itself. Alright, so that's for Cardano. I'm moving on to the next one for XCN. See you over there.